Sponsored by Canadian Model Railroad.ca and by donations from patrons like you.
Further support provided by Frog and Diamond Hobby Work, largest little hobby shop in Winnipeg.
And now on with the show with your hosts, Peter and
what
Joe.
time it is?
It's train time. Brand new year.
Yeah, season 5, episode 49.
Yes.
Today,
January 2024.
yeah. Today we'll have Mike Armstrong video about the Amtrack car fleet that they have.
Yep.
The change that's been happening and so on.
The evolution of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also have a very, very good video from Dan Scheidell.
Yes.
Which is the Palouse River Canyons, where it's the CP train running through some tunnels.
Okay.
You know, and then is definitely the view from above.
His view from above, and yeah. Oh, sounds good.
So you had a good Christmas.
Yes, very good. It was quiet, but it's with family.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
At my daughter's place as usual.
well, we all did it here.
Yep.
As usual. For us, it was again the normal Christmas.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and Tony got decoders and a couple of more of my locomotives in time for Christmas, so that was my Christmas gift to myself.
Yeah, you've been running them up on the layout.
Yeah, and I've probably got some more for him to do.
Well, we'll get back onto Tony a little bit later.
For sure, yes.
So, folks, let's go with the Amtrack, and we'll get back to you.
Yes, enjoy.
The first several cars we will be looking at are used on Amtrak intercity and long-distance trains. We'll start off with the Amfleet. Amfleets are long, tube-shaped cars that are used on intercity Amtrak trains as well as most of the eastern long-distance routes. They were built by the Budd Company of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The cars are single level and are built for high platform boarding, with boarding doors located on the ends of each car. They do, however, have trap doors located at each of the boarding doors so that they can be used at low-level station platforms. Amfleets come in two different versions. Amfleet 1 cars have boarding doors at both ends of the car and are used primarily for intercity service, while Amfleet 2 cars have boarding doors at only one end of the car and are used mainly in long-distance service. Both cars come in coach and cafe versions. Seating in Amfleet cars is in the standard 2x2 configuration, with 2 seats on either side of the central aisle. This is the standard seating configuration on almost all Amtrak equipment. Amfleet cars were designed specifically for Amtrak service starting in the mid-1970s with the introduction of the Amfleet 1, and take their design from the slightly older Metroliner electric multiple unit cars, which were also built by Budd. Similar to the Amfleet 1, the Horizon is a single-level car with high-level platform boarding doors at both ends, although like the Amfleet, they are also equipped with trap doors for low platform boarding as well. Built by Bombardier in the late 1980s and early 1990s, they are based off of nearly identical cars known as Comets that were built for commuter service. Early in production, the Horizons were referred to as the Amfleet 3, as they were seen as a third version of the Amfleet car. However, the cars were quite different in their external appearance from the Amfleets, so this name never really caught on. Horizons have a simple look with flat, smooth sides and a flat roof. Like Amfleets, Horizons come in 2 different versions, coach cars and cafes. They are currently used on Amtrak intercity trains, although many will soon be replaced by new cars built by Siemens. Next, we have the Viewliner car. Viewliners were designed as new passenger cars for long-distance Amtrak passenger trains mostly running in the eastern United States. They are of a single-level design and have one set of doors at one end of the car. Designed for high-level boarding platforms, they are equipped with trap doors for low-level platform boarding as well. The cars have flat sides with a lower section that is angled inward and features corrugated metal. 3 prototype Viewliner cars were built in the late 1980s by Budd, but it wasn't until the mid-1990s that the first production run of the Viewliner began. These cars were built by Morrison Knudsen and were called Viewliner 1. All of these were built as sleeping cars. In 2012, a new order of Viewliner 2 cars was placed with a Spanish company known as CAF. These include more sleepers, dining cars, baggage cars, and combination baggage and crew sleeping cars. Production of the Viewliner 2 cars is still ongoing as of early 2020. Next, we move on to another type of long-distance passenger car. Originally built by the Pullman Company in the mid-1970s, the Superliner is a bi-level car based off the much older, high-level cars that were built by Budd for the Santa Fe Railroad in the 1950s. The cars have a main level on the upper floor with a smaller section on the lower floor. Superliners have one door on either side of the lower level and are designed for boarding at low platforms. 2 versions of the Superliner were built. Superliner 1 cars were constructed in the mid to late 1970s by Pullman and consisted of sleeping cars, dining cars, lounges, coaches, and combination coach baggage cars. Superliner 2s were built in the early to mid 1990s by Bombardier and include coaches, diners, lounges, sleeping cars, and transition sleeping cars. Transition sleepers have one end door on the upper level and the other end door on the lower level so that the single-level baggage cars, typically placed at the front of the train, can be reached while the train is in motion. Amtrak uses the Superliner 1 and Superliner 2 cars in long-distance passenger service, particularly on routes in the western United States. Some of the cars are also used in inner-city service, particularly on the Amtrak California trains. The California car is a bi-level passenger car designed for intercity passenger service specifically for the state of California. It is based off the long-distance Superliner car. Like Superliners, California cars feature an upper main level and a smaller lower level and are designed for low-level platform boarding. Other than internal car configuration, the main difference between California cars and Superliners is that the California cars feature 2 sets of automatically opening double doors on each side of the car at both ends of the lower level. The cars come in 4 types: coaches, coach baggage cars, coach cafe cars, and coach cab control cars. The first generation of these passenger cars were built in the mid-1990s by Morrison Knudsen and Amtrack. A second generation of these cars was built in the late 1990s and early 2000s. These newer cars, sometimes referred to as Surfliners, were built by Alstom and are primarily used in Pacific Surfliner service, although some of them are used in San Joaquin and Capital Corridor service. Surfliner cars also come in 4 different versions: coach, business class coach, coach cafe, and combination coach baggage cab control cars. Up in the Pacific Northwest, the Amtrak Cascade service uses a very unique type of single-level train car set known as a Talgo. The Talgo is a lightweight articulated train set built by a Spanish company of the same name. Unlike traditional passenger cars that ride on 2 trucks, each Talgo car shares a wheel pair with the next car on each end. This articulated lightweight design allows Talgos to travel through tight curves at a greater speed than traditional passenger rail equipment. Talgo trains have several different car types including coaches, business class coaches, a dining car, and a bistro lounge car. Business class cars on these train sets have an unusual seating arrangement for Amtrak of 2x1, 2 seats on one side of the aisle and 1 seat on the other. The cars are set up for low-level platform boarding and have 1 set of automatically opening doors located at one end of the car. On either end of the train is a special end car. One of these cars is for baggage and the other is a generator car used to make electricity for the other cars on the train. There are currently 2 different types of Talgo train sets in use on Amtrak Cascades trains. Series 6 sets were built in the mid to late 1990s and have cosmetic fins on both of the end cars to match the height profile of the locomotives and non-powered control unit cab cars. The newer Series 8 trains were built in 2013 and have a built-in operator's cab as part of the generator car. This eliminates the need for an extra Amtrack shop-built non-powered control unit on the end of the train. Another type of passenger car that is used as part of a train set is the Acela car. These cars are used on the Northeast Corridor as part of the Acela Express train sets that were built by Alstom in the late 1990s. They are similar in design to standard passenger cars, but they are all coupled in a semi-permanently connected set, usually with 6 passenger cars and a locomotive power car on each end of the train. Acela cars are single-level with automatic doors at both ends. Train sets include 3 different car types: business class, cafe, and first class. Business class cars have a 2x2 seating arrangement while first class is 2x1. The cars are set up for high platform boarding. These trains are scheduled to be replaced with newer equipment in 2021. The last intercity passenger car I want to mention is the new Siemens Mobility built Viaggio Comfort passenger car. While these cars are still in production for use on Amtrak, a similar design is already in service for Florida's Brightline passenger train. They are an off-the-shelf European design that has been modified for service in North America. In the near future, the states of Illinois and California will receive large orders of these cars that will replace older equipment running on state-sponsored Amtrak trains in the Midwest and in California. Via Rail in Canada has also ordered many of these cars for service on their busy intercity trains in eastern Canada. These single-level cars will have boarding doors on both ends of the car, and while they are designed for high platform boarding, they will be equipped with steps and a trap door for boarding at low platforms like the Amfleet and Horizon cars. Several different versions are being produced, including coaches, cafes, business class cars, and combination coach cab control cars.
Well, pretty good video.
Well, yeah, it might be a little older right now because it was made, I believe, in 2012.
Yeah.
But it gave us a good impression and idea of what the change they make through their fleets.
Yeah.
Via Rail does pretty much do the same.
Yes. Yeah.
And now they got their new train, the Siemens and so on.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
Make a big difference.
Yeah.
We're talking about Tony. I was at the store on
Monday. This
Monday.
past Monday.
Yeah, on Monday.
Yep.
And you can be amazed how much stuff he's got in that hobby shop.
I plan on paying him a visit in the next week or two.
Yeah. I was amazed by the inventory that he had in there. It's something for everybody.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good, and I mean, you know, when you're in there, lots of times there'll be parents with their little kids looking at stuff, as well as the older modelers like you and I. So.
Yeah. It seems there's always somebody coming in and going out all the time, so that's good. I'm glad that it goes well for Tony.
Yep.
Now, folks, let's go see the photo of the month.
Well, again, we've got a lot of nice photos to.
Yep, and keep bringing them in, you know.
Yep.
We're in search right now to have some home layout that we could film and feature on our show. So
Yep.
if you are in Manitoba and the Winnipeg areas and that type of thing, you know, let us know, because
Yep.
we'll fix a date and we'll feature your layout. Now we'll go with the first video on the view from above. It's a special video. It's from the Palouse River Canyons, and it's the CP train running through the canyons.
Okay.
You know, that is a drone video from Danar Shuttle.
Okay.
And then we got the regular view from above, which is a courtesy of Danar Shuttle. have been doing some more work upstairs.
Yes, and you have too.
Not as much because
Well, you're working on buildings.
yes,
You're working on buildings. I'm working on mountains.
right. My schedule being a little bit changed
Yes.
lately.
Yeah.
We got things happening in our family that has to be dealt with and so on. So
Yep. Family comes first.
yeah, we got to line up the priorities.
Yeah.
Regardless, upstairs it's going pretty well.
Yeah. It's we're still trying to figure out our little short problem, but you came up with a new idea, so
Yeah.
hopefully our track gang can implement that and it solves our problem.
I think it's coming down to one switch.
Yeah, I think so.
And if we get that switch there removed, which will not really change the way that
The operation,
train and
yeah.
the operations,
Yeah.
I think we'll resolve that problem.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, we think.
we got to try it. If it works, it works.
Yes, and the good news is that we're starting to work into the Fraser River,
Yes.
which is a good thing. We'll bring you a video on that more than likely with the February issue.
Yeah, we've got all the coats of plaster on the lift out
Yeah.
section. So once we get a little ways along the Fraser, we'll be painting that, and so it's
Instead of doing just a little bit of painting and then more, so let's do everything that's got to be done and then we paint it and
Yeah.
we get along with the scenery and
well,
that will go
that
pretty
way
fast.
too. When you're like the different colors that we put in there, like the burnt umber and the ochre that goes in. If you're doing small sections, you might not get the carry through.
You don't have the same effect.
Yeah. So if you do one big section, it's basically all the same type of shading and stuff.
Well, matter of fact, this part there, which is all follow the aisle, okay, on the fascia, if the color is a little different from what we got on the back, it's totally right because that is all the Selkirks that we're doing right now and not
Yes.
the Rockies itself.
Right.
The Rockies are done.
Yes.
So is that Selkirk? The Selkirk is not necessarily the same thing. Even when you look at pictures and you see the Selkirk and you see the Rockies, you can see the difference in between the two.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not panicking about the color really.
Yeah.
You know, they will blend. They
Oh,
they
yeah.
will come in. And
But
even
it
if
is-
it's a difference in shade, that would be even better for
Yeah.
the camera.
But you don't, if you're doing a section like we're working on the Selkirks, like you said, you don't want to have like a little strip of it done and then do another strip.
No.
You want to do the whole thing so that it's
You
all,
want something that is flowing together. You know, if not, then it's very hard to correct it after the paint is
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. And of course we've been running trains as well, so
Well, right now the layout upstairs is so full of cars and locomotives. You know, sometimes it's hard to just run. You know, which car do we run, and so on and so on. We got a lot of choice to make a lot of different trains.
Yeah.
You know? So the track gangs would be on that switch, and us, well, we'll keep doing the building. I'm doing right now building that would be in Winnipeg.
yes. Yeah.
And the funny part is I don't know where to put the building right now because I'm running out of room. So, and we cannot put them somewhere else in the layout, you know, waiting, because then we need that space to do something else.
Well, you just finished the fire hall for Winnipeg.
Yep.
And now you're working on some warehousing and stuff.
No, what I'm doing is a quadruplex, right, which was probably built in the surrounding of the years 50 eras.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, 50, 60 eras. I got two of them.
Yep.
Right, and they would be on one of the streets. you know. Then they still have the bus stations to do, still the high rise to be done, and so on. As far as high rise is concerned, the Portage in Maine would be with the high rise that came from Cornerstone at this stage. But after that is done in Scenic, then I will start to scratch build the actual buildings that are there. I don't want to get on that right away because of the length of time it will take to build one building. You know, especially with all the electrical that goes into it and so on, it's getting pretty involved. And to be honest, I got to order more stuff from China.
Yeah.
So that's about the way the cookie crumble right now.
So but other than that, I mean, we're slowly moving along. And,
yes.
Certainly, the four of us, I think, are still enjoying ourselves. So
well, that's what's count, and I'm still waiting that somebody send video of their layout so we can put them in.
yes.
But regardless, we do not have much comments from you people. The comments we got though are excellent comments, you know, and even if we had critics, it's good because critics make us get better. We're looking for material for the show. You have to remember it's also your show, so you can participate by sending us some material. The only thing we ask when you send material, don't send music, because it's too many copyright you can get involved in there. We're looking for a ton of materials. You know, it doesn't matter if you have a layout is on plywood. Okay, a layout is a layout.
And if anybody has even at Christmas have a temporary train set up, send us some videos of that. And,
well, if we had a video coming in right now that is a Christmas train, definitely we did put it to the show for December, right? So that it goes with the season. But regardless, when you send material to us, it doesn't mean it will be in right the next month. It might be a month or two, depending how the things are going. And right now, we do not have our script editors. So make things a little different and a little harder for us to plan what will be going. So January is a very short show, as you notice. Might not be of your liking, but we can guarantee you that February would be right up to snuff. So we thank you, viewer, to have kept with us all that time, you know, because it's very important to us. Being a Canadian show, you don't have that many of them, so we want to keep it going. But to keep it going, we need your help. So
send us comments.
Yes, and you can reach us by sending us email. You can send email into rescue1@mymts.net. You can send also email into jpjoelarache@gmail.com. You can send your suggestion via Messenger on the Facebook group. You know, you got many different ways that you can do it, and we read them. When we got message, we read them and we take them in consideration. And do not feel bad if you have a critics, because the critics we appreciate.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's about
it.
That was my rant.
That was your January rant. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll continue working on the CMR.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
We'll try and keep our viewing public up to date as much as we can. And I guess till next month, it's good night from you and good night from me. And
and anyway, folks, see you in February, episode number 50.
And have fun modeling.
Yes, enjoy.